I'm still trying to figure out like location and how to like angle a camera so that the background doesn't look all wonky like that. Today I am doing my first ever book review. I'm reviewing Everything Everything by Nicola Yoon. And if you haven't heard of this book, that's totally okay, don't worry about it. I hadn't heard of it until I saw the movie trailer. So the movie comes out May 19th. Make sure that if you're one of those people who likes to read the book before you see the movie, this is your chance to get a little bit of a taste of what's going on before you go and see the movie in May. Now, I listened to the book on Audible, and I totally understand that most people don't do the whole Audible thing. They think that that's cheating. I don't think it's cheating. I believe that we read books for stories, and if you're listening to the book for a story, it should count the same way, but I don't know. I didn't feel like anything was missing from the book by listening to it instead of reading it. I did notice when I was watching on YouTube other reviews of this book that there are some illustrations in the physical copy, but I didn't know that, and like I said, I didn't really feel like anything was missing, so, I mean, knowing that there's illustrations, it makes me want to go look at a physical copy just so I can get those images in my head, but like I said, I didn't really feel like I was missing out on anything, so I recommend the audiobook version. It's totally fine. I had no problem with it. Basically, the story is about a girl who is 18 years old. Her name is Madeline, and she lives with her mom in this house that keeps everything clean because she has a disease called SCID, and also known as bubble baby syndrome, I believe it's called. So it has been made available to her to have this house where there's air filters that circulate the air in a way that makes sure everything is clean. It's always the same temperature. She's always the same temperature. She eats the same times every single day. And the fact that her mom is a doctor probably helps with all of that. The only other person that Maddie gets to interact with on a daily basis is her nurse. But these are the only two people that Maddie gets to see ever. She has tutors for her school, but she mostly does all of that online, so the only human interaction that she really gets is her mom and her nurse. Also with the book, the writing style was absolutely amazing. Now, the majority of the story is told from Maddie's point of view, with the exceptions being some text messages and emails and things like that. But the book had amazing writing style. It really showed Maddie's character because Maddie is a reader and she reads a lot. I mean,
I would too if I was locked into a house for 18 years with nobody to talk to except my mom and my nurse.
Maddie's narrative is very poetic and flowery in style, but also has a sort of mature medical style to it, which kind of shows how Maddie's disease has influenced her throughout her life. Very early into the story, next door, family moves in. If you've seen the trailer for the movie, you know that there's a love interest between Maddie and Ollie, the boy who lives next door. It's very interesting how their relationship works out, but it wasn't exactly unexpected. But some things do change, and it is worth a read. Don't be thrown off because of the romance factor of this book. There's a lot of good qualities of this book that I can't really give away in the spoiler-free section of this video. So I strongly encourage you, go read the book or listen to it on Audible and come back and we can feel all the feels together. Okay, and now for the spoiler section. Can we talk about this book for a second? Because goodness gracious, what the heck, Nicola Yoon? Like, what the heck? Carla. I loved Carla. I could totally see her being a real person. If I had been locked in a house my entire life, I would definitely want someone like Carla taking care of me. Hands down, Carla is the most awesome character in this book. Love her. I am really hoping that the film doesn't belittle her character or try and undermine the significance that Carla had in Maddie's life. I really am worried that they're gonna do that, and I hope that they don't, but if they do, then just more proof that people need to read the book to understand how awesome Carla is. But despite how awesome she is, she made me really nervous at certain parts of the books, and I saw Jesse the Reader's review of this book, and he felt the same way, which I'm really glad it wasn't just me being paranoid. But she like lets Ollie come into the house like a couple times. I'm like, oh my gosh, Kyla, what are you doing? Maddie's gonna die. Major plot twist. Maddie's not sick. The whole time, her entire life has been a lie because she's not sick. The whole time she hasn't been sick, and she's always thought she was sick. It makes me wonder if Carlo suspected it the entire time that she wasn't sick, or if it was just after Maddie and Ollie are on their way to Hawaii and they stop at Carlo's house, if that's when she starts to wonder. But, oh man, that was some stressful stuff. I really like that Maddie's mom throughout the story wasn't a villain. Absolutely, if you were to analyze this, I would say that Maddie's mom and Maddie's sickness are the two main antagonists of the story. But the entire time, I didn't feel like Maddie's mom was a villain, which is really helpful for when you get to the plot twist. It's not as obvious, it's more dramatic, I guess I should say. Since the whole story is told from Maddie's point of view, we see Maddie's mom as this great, wonderful person that she is, always taking care of Maddie, always putting Maddie first, giving up the life that she had before in order to take care of her daughter. Like, we admire Maddie's mom. I admired Maddie's mom. I was completely blown away with how awesome of a mom she is. Until, you find out that Maddie's not sick and the whole thing's a lie, and that the mom is actually the one who's sick. And with Maddie not being sick with SCID, but the mom being mentally ill as a repercussion of losing her husband and her son in that trucking accident, it made it more real and I think more relatable, because if Maddie's mom was like Mother Gothel in Rapunzel, always trying to lock her daughter away, forcefully, rudely, if she was more violent, I think it would have been easy to say, yeah, Maddie, go to Hawaii, like, screw your mom, like, no. But since the mom wasn't like that, it made the whole situation more complicated and more realistic, because life isn't that simple. I thought it was really interesting how when Maddie is going through her mom's files looking for a diagnosis, I thought it was really interesting that Maddie's mom was confused by her own lie, and I feel like that's such a sad and heartbreaking moment when Maddie is confronting her mom saying, Mom, where is the paper with my diagnosis on it? Like, where'd you put it? What's going on? Cards on the table right now. And Maddie's mom is legitimately confused and is like, did you take it? Did you put it somewhere? Part of her knows that she's lied to her daughter for the last 18 years, but part of her is convinced by her own lie, which is really sad when you think about it. But it really makes me question, how does all of this going on with Maddie and losing her husband and her son, how does all of that not only affect her mental health, but subsequently affect her career? Because she's a physician and she's working with patients every day. And now we're gonna talk about Ollie. I wasn't exactly super thrilled about this relationship between Maddie and Ollie. I felt like it was kind of cheesy, actually. But I loved the creation of his character. The fact that he's into parkour and math and, like, he's funny but believable. I really like that this book brings up domestic violence with Ollie's family. It doesn't shy away from the topic, which I think is so good. I feel like too often as a society we try and turn a blind eye to the things that we don't want to talk about, and that is not the way to get these things to stop. And so I really like that this book brings this conversation up with Ollie's family and his alcoholic father and his mother who won't leave his father and his sister who's lost, because all we really know about Ollie's sister is that she smokes a lot of cigarettes and she's on her phone a lot. That's all we really get to know about her. And it's really interesting how this information is brought to us, because we get this information from Maddie's point of view, and Maddie is spying on the neighbor family. And she says it very factually, which again goes back to what I said earlier about her having a very medical, professional type of speech thrown into her flowery, poetic language. And I feel like dealing with this, that tactic was very helpful. The whole trip to Hawaii between Maddie and Ollie had me nervous. And because, like I said, I saw the movie trailer before I read the book, I know that some big major health crisis is gonna happen. So I'm waiting the entire time they're in Hawaii for something to happen, and I'm like, oh my gosh, girl, you're being dumb. Like, I know that you want to live, I know you want to be alive instead of just living, but girl, you can't do either if you're dead. So, and on top of that, I was really conflicted the entire Hawaii scene because I felt bad for Maddie's mom. Maddie's mom had given up everything, as far as we knew at this point, had given up everything to take care of her daughter. And her daughter just was kind of like, peace, bye mom. So I was conflicted because I felt sorry for the mom. I felt happy for Maddie because she was going out and doing something with her life. And I was also angry at Maddie because she was lying to Ollie about the pills. So many feels. So many feels. I can't wait to see this movie, guys. I'm freaking out. Now let's talk about the book post-plot twist. I felt like Maddie handled it really maturely, almost too maturely. Like, she's 18, which I guess in book world is mature because most protagonists in YA are 16 years old, and even they handle things more maturely than I think I would, and I'm 21. But when Maddie gets that email from the doctor in Hawaii, I was so nervous. I kept waiting for the mom to lash out and violently attack her daughter or lock Maddie in a room. That whole part of the book was really suspenseful, and because I was listening to it and not reading it, I couldn't read it any faster, and I could have made the tape go faster, but I didn't want to miss any words, so it was really stressful to get through. And the conclusion where Maddie and Ollie are in New York, to be reconnected, I felt like that was a really nice way to tie up those loose ends after Ollie moves away when Maddie kind of pushes him out. And by the way, when they get back from Hawaii after her health disaster and she pushes him out of her life, I think the actual quote is, "My life is better with you in it." Well, mine isn't. Oh my gosh. That killed me. My heart literally hurt. I was like, Maddie, what are you doing? He loves you. This is not how this is supposed to go. Anyway, that concludes this review of Everything Everything by Nicola Yoon. If you guys want to see more book review videos, let me know by giving this video a thumbs up. Go ahead and subscribe so you don't miss any of those videos. And if you have any suggestions of what books you'd like to see reviewed, go ahead and put those in the comments down below. Hope you guys have a great day, and I'll see you later. Bye!